Okay. So good afternoon, everyone.
Good
It's
afternoon.
uh, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this workshop, and I will just, without taking much time, I have the honor of introducing Dr. Sanjay Saxena. He is the professor and chairperson for the Center for Digital Learning, School of Management Sciences in Varanasi. And we all will be honored, and will be enjoying his learned company because he has had 28 years of work experience in corporate and academia currently. So besides the theoretical, there is so much more practical knowledge that he will be sharing with us today, that he we are just just waiting. So just bear with me for a minute more. And just to add on to his list of achievements, he has augmented his academic learning by completing 6 months of course on strategic management from IM Bangalore, and 6 months course on entrepreneurship essentials from Harvard Business School. So of course he has been to various places like Abu Dhabi, Northeast Africa, Mumbai, Bangkok, and he has been the associate professor and dean at School of Management Sciences, and he is a legend and already in his field of work. And besides, he has delivered so many sessions on all sorts of organizational skills and life management skills, emotional intelligence. So, among which one of these topics we are going to listen to him today. So, sir, welcome on
Absolutely.
behalf of Brain Behavior Research Foundation of
By
India.
mute,
I
mute.
welcome you. I welcome you heartily, and
Thank you.
I would request you now to begin your session. We are all of us are eagerly waiting for the same.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's fine. So at first, I would like to extend my indebtedness to Dr. Meena for giving me opportunity on her platform to conduct this particular session, and my thanks also to Mr. Subodh for coordinating the entire event. And at the same time, my thanks to all participants for taking time to come at this platform and attending this particular session. Today's topic is definitely very relevant. That is overcoming stress, embracing success, using emotional intelligence. So this particular topic is in fact relevant because in day-to-day life, this emotional intelligence required to get success and to overcome our stresses which we are getting from the environment. Uh, Situation always is changing, as we have seen in this particular 4 5 months due to COVID-19. The economy is going down, people are losing their jobs, and they have a lot of uncertainty in life that what we are going to do in future, how we will earn money. So this topic is definitely relevant to that, but not directly related. Indirectly, you can control all these kind of situations in your life in future. I'm not going to tell you that how to cope with COVID, but I'm going to tell you that what kind of emotional intelligence you should develop in yourself so that you can create your own destiny and you can eliminate all kinds of uncertainties which are there in your life. So therefore, this topic has three variables. The first one is stress, the second is success, and the third is emotional intelligence. Stress is definitely our psychological response to add to any stimulus that we perceive as a challenge or threat to our existence. So when perceived stress, our brain releases a stress chemical. This chemical is like norepinephrine, which gives signal to our adrenal gland. That in turn produces a stress hormone like adrenaline and cortisol. These stress hormones prepare our body for emergency physical action known as fight or flight. Because if the situation is stressful, either we have to cope with that stress or fight with that stress, or we have to run away from that situation. and for that we need extra energy in our body. So when hormones like adrenaline or cortisol is released in our bloodstream, definitely we get extra energy from our energy center. Whereas the emotional intelligence is definitely a capacity to recognize and manage our own positive or negative emotions and those of others in our interpersonal relationships. So, if we have proper emotional intelligence, we can control our stress, our negative emotions, and at the same time, we can control others' emotional eruptions in our interpersonal dynamics. I have added one more dimension in this particular workshop, that is success. Because ultimately, emotional intelligence is directly related to success in our life. I have, that is why I have added this particular variable. And this is because our life is closely linked, and our emotional intelligence plays a very important role, as Daniel Goleman mentioned in his book, that success in our life is largely depends on our emotional intelligence. And success is not just the material wealth acquisition, it is also about we are how much we are happy and contented, how much excellence we are generating in our performances, and how much people love us and respect us. So all these aspects are actually there in success. There are many other parameters also, but in crux, these parameters are there. So ultimately, every one of us wants exceptional success in life. Every one of us want that we should get respect from the society and we should achieve extraordinary height and wealth and so on and so forth. And that is why emotional intelligence is very important. Uh, if we go further, uh, if we see that if we are stressed, normally we live our entire life with regular intervals of mild or acute stress. We are surrounded by a lot of stressors. Let us see what are these stressors. Stressors are means there are situations or events that causes stress in our mind. So the first important stress we face is financial crisis. If we have the financial crisis, then definitely we are having a stress that how to survive in this world. So this one of the major source of stress is financial crisis, and which is very evident in this COVID period when people are losing their job. They have their family and children to feed, but they are facing problem to earn money because industries are closing. Uh, Already we have seen that 23 minus 23% GDP is growth is there. So that is why when economy is not booming, the industries are not working. So financial crisis is one of these stressors. The another stress we get is rat race. If everything is going well, then we come into fight, and we have in fact rat race. We want to achieve something, we want to compete with everyone, we want to get number one. So, and in terms of acquiring wealth, we compare our own wealth with others and see that how much he is less or more, and that is why, and if he is earning more, then we'll run more faster, we'll try to get more and more. So in every field there is a rat race, and that is also causing stress in our mind. uh, Workplace stress is also very prominent in your all types of organization, whether irrespective of government organization or private organization. Stress is there because sometimes we are overloaded. In private business organizations, we have target pressures. We have to achieve our targets. We have a pressure of losing jobs. More and more American culture is coming to India, so hire and fire policies are there in the private organization. Even in the workplace, if we have a boss or seniors who are not that emotionally intelligent, then they are also creating stress in our mind. And likewise, we have so much, we do not have proper work-life balance, and majority of the time we are giving in our workplace, and we are not able to give time to our family and our children. So a lot of work stress is there. Then another important source of stress is health, and our poor health because of our poor lifestyle always give us stress. And if we get involved, or if some kind of chronic disease is there in us, definitely that is the biggest source of stress. And it is a two-way, because of stress we get poor health, and because of poor health we get stress. So the cycle is always moving. We will discuss this health little bit. Of course, this health uh, is very important part. And then ego pretensions. Normally, we try to keep mask and try to hide ourselves from the society. According to Sigmund Freud, our ego works as social on social principles. So that is why ego is fine, so that we can live in the society and act as per ethical values, moral values, and societal norms. So that is why ego helps us to follow ethical values. But as we grow, our ego gets heavier. It becomes our mask and prominent source of psychological stress. This heavyweight ego start working as our lawyer, who has to defend all our deeds, whether good or bad. In the process of defending ourselves uh, and hiding our weaknesses, our ego forces us to pretend as if we are Mr. Perfect, or we are Miss Perfect. We think that we have no weaknesses whatsoever. Our ego is always worried about how we look to others, what other people are saying about us, what will people think about us if they come to know what we really like. How will they feel about us then? How will they react to us? What will happen to our social image? So, because of these perceived threats, we start lying to others more and more and adopt ego pretensions. So, our ego pretensions force us to pose that we are totally different to what we really are. In this process of hiding and lying from others, we create never ending stress in our mind. Without realizing it, we keep our mind alert and ruminating. So this is a consistent stress in our mind, because majority of us, almost all of us, have ego pretensions. It is very evident, and this starts, in fact, from our childhood. We have seen parents when their child is not getting good marks in their school, but to their friends, to their family, to their relatives, the parents are always telling higher marks. They are inflating the performance of their child. If he is getting, suppose, 60% marks, they will say, my child is getting 85% in the class, 90%. And then they are telling their child, don't tell others that what you are getting, just keep like this. In this way, the parents are always trying to put mask on child face and saying that my child is different. And in this way, we learn to pretend from the society, and that becomes the biggest source of our stress. Uh, when our relations in okay, let me go to further. Relationships are also creating stress. When our relations with spouse, with our friends, colleagues, and neighbors get strained, we get stress. So if we have poor relationships, we get stress. The stress hormones increase restlessness, heart rate, and blood pressure, and trigger the release of glucose from every storehouse, or from our energy storehouse. So that is the first consequence. That when Let me just discuss about consequences. And when this particular stress state continues, like when our blood flow and energy is moving towards our skeletal muscles, or reduces the blood flow towards our body's immune system or endocrine system or gastrointestinal systems. And that is why the power is increasing in our limbs, but our immune system is getting weakened. So that is why, in this case, the consequences are taking place. And in the extreme case, high level of norepinephrine destroys our homeostasis in the body. Homeostasis means the blood flow is adequate blood flow towards each part of our body. When it's not there, when the blood is flowing only in one part towards our skeletal muscles, then it destroys the homeostasis. And when our body's homeostasis is not proper, then we get a problem of shrinking brain. Then we get a problem of emotional imbalance because our brain gets hijacked several times. I will discuss this emotional hijack in next slide. And then we have a thought imbalance. So because of emotional hijack, we are not able to think properly in the situation, and we are not able to manage our life properly. We have a lot of physiological dysfunctions also in our body. These physiological dysfunctions means we get problems like pressure, we get problem like cardiac arrest, we get problem like what you call sugar. So likewise, lot of problems are coming to our body, and even our digestion systems get disturbed. In acute cases, our genetic expressions changes. Genetic expressions. Let me have a water. In fact, we have genes which are producing the proteins to maintain the body, and we have a genetic history in our family. So if we live in our stressed state, definitely majority of genes gets closed and stop producing proteins to maintain our body. And when these genetic expressions changes, we get a lot of health problems and lot of physiological dysfunctions. And of course, last but not the least, we get failures in life. But because when we are not able to think properly, when our IQ level is down, when we are always having stress in our mind, how can we get success in life? How can we generate excellence in our all endeavors? And how can we produce excellent performances? So that is why this happens. But we have some good news. Uh, the good news is that, according to neuroscience, there is unquestionably no situation in this universe that can cause stress. So there is no stressful situation in this universe. It is our psychological reactions towards various situations that causes stress. And our brain is brilliant enough to create stress, fear, anxiety out of nothing. Therefore, the perception plays a very important role in producing stress. I will discuss perception. Now the question will come to your mind that, sir, how can you say that there is no stress in this situation? I will give you a very small example that if the soldiers are fighting at the border, uh, and suppose the bullets are getting exchanged, and soldiers know that any point of time they can be hit by the bullet and they can die, but still they are fighting and they are moving towards the enemy. Why they are doing it? Because they are not perceiving the threat of death. So it's all about perception. They are being trained not to perceive the threat of the death. They are ready for any consequences. If suppose they will perceive it and if they will generate fear in their mind, definitely they will run away from the fight, from the war. So that is why it's all about perception. And in the same situation, people may perceive differently. And same situation for two same kind of people. One is a stressful situation, for another person it is not a stress, it is opportunity. So for many, the COVID is opportunity, and for many, the COVID is a stressful situation. So that is why everything is perceived. And why it is perceived? Definitely because of selection. In fact, millions of bits of information is flowing from our senses, through our senses, and our brain has a capacity to maximum hold 500 bits to 2000 bits of information. And that is why, from this situation where the millions of bits of information is available, selection is inevitable. So we select a set of information to understand that situation, to give meaning to that situation. And then based on that selection, we organize that information in our mind and we interpret the situation. So what selection we are doing, that is very important. And for example, I will give you a little example before, sorry, uh, I will just manage my slide. Consider that we have a situation where we have lost everything. We have lost our job, we have lost our money in bank, and we get trapped into a dire strait, in a complete darkness where there is no light, no hope. So majority of will select the following the information, uh, like I have lost everything and I am completely helpless. Or we will select that there is no hope in this situation and there is no hope in our future. No one is there to help me. And then we will think also that everything is over in my life, it's time to pack up. Everything is over in life. So this is the set of information we will select from this particular situation. And then what is going to happen, it's very evident to you. A lot of stress would be there. But there are some people, they will change this set of information. And they can think that this is the best situation in my life, as I have nothing to lose. I am now free from all possessions. This is the time to sit back and find out my instinct and passion. This is the time to nurture my passion, nurture my seed, and seed definitely cannot grow in light. So that is why the dark period has come in my life. It's time to build again, and it's time to get up and conquer the world. With this set of information, we will have positive emotions in our mind. So ultimately, it all depends that in what condition our mind is surviving. If we have lot of negativity, lot of negative emotions, negative attitude, negative belief, definitely we will always perceive the. I'll give you another example of perception. If suppose in your workplace there is a person who is always doing something wrong against you, who is always trying to disturb you, trying to backbite you, trying to backstab you, and you know that he is my enemy. And suddenly one day, if he is coming to you and saying that, hello, Dr. Saxena, how are you? Everything is okay. Suddenly, that I will start thinking that why he is asking me my health. How is asking me everything is okay? Why is he so concerned? Maybe he has done something wrong and he is taking the feedback. So I will perceive in this way. But suppose if my good friend in the workplace who is always concerned for my betterment, if he is coming and is asking, hello, Dr. Saxena, how are you? Everything is okay, then I will perceive it differently. Then I will think that, yes, this person is good and this person is so much concerned for my health and for my betterment. Ultimately, selection is also depends on our subconscious recordings, and that is why we perceive some situation as a stressful or the same situation as opportunity. So perception plays a very important role. Everything will come when I will talk about interventions in controlling your emotions. But when you have a continued stress in your mind, then you always work under 50% or with your 50% IQ. IQ is intelligent quotient when you are able to plan, you are able to analyze, you are able to think properly. And when you are working with 50% of your IQ, how can you expect any exceptional success in your life? So that is why emotional intelligence is important so that you can work with your 100% IQ. Let me explain certain brain neuroscience why this emotional intelligence plays important role. Why what happens when the stress is taking place in our body. So, as in the picture, it is shown there is a point known as PFC, prefrontal cortex. sorry, sorry. This prefrontal cortex is actually area, it's from the neocortex, is an area which is a thinking brain. So it regulates executive functioning like understanding, recalling, planning, and judgment, etc. Then we have, and the prefrontal cortex is very slow in responding. It takes 100 milliseconds to respond. There is another area in this slide that emotional part of our brain is amygdala, and it regulates the response when we are threatened, when we get some threatful stimulus coming into our brain. And it is very quick in responding because it's an emotional response and it responds only in 15 milliseconds. So it is much faster than our prefrontal cortex. And if suppose you see in the figure, if suppose intense stimulus is coming to you through your eyes, ears, and it is going directly to a place known as thalamus. And then from thalamus, it is going to amygdala because amygdala has a very position which is very nearer to thalamus. So immediately information goes there. And when it goes there, and if there is information we perceive as a very threatful situation, then definitely stress chemicals start producing in our brain. And then the information goes to prefrontal cortex. So ultimately, already emotional response is there, and thinking response comes late. Neurobiological researches shows that between our emotional brain and thought brain, the balance is created by the team of neurotransmitters. So that is why these stress chemicals are there, and some positive chemicals are also there. If the stimulus is positive, then positive chemical would be released, and if the stimulus is negative, to create the balance, the negative chemicals would be released. So the area of our brain which is more active tends to snatch more blood and oxygen. With the results, the other part of the brain gets less blood and oxygen and become less active. So if we see this one, I will just go further. You see another slide. What is happening with this state? The flow of blood and oxygen is moving towards amygdala. if you see this. And because amygdala, when the blood and oxygen more is flowing towards amygdala, the PFC or the prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking brain, it is not getting the proper oxygen to work, and that is why it is not able to think properly. Uh, Matthew Lieberman was one scientist. He has found that there is an inverse relationship between amygdala and PFC. When amygdala is active, it snatches more blood and oxygen as shown in this figure, and there is less activation in PFC. When this occurs, thinking power is disrupted, and we can lose our 10 to 15 points IQ temporarily, which is what I was thinking experience. So that is why we always live, and this phenomena is known as amygdala hijack, which is written on the screen. And when our amygdala is hijacked, we are not able to think properly, and then our IQ goes down. And if you consider, if you audit your life every day, you will find that your amygdala is always living in mildly hijacked state because it is always erupting negative emotions. Amygdala is giving you a response, negative emotional response. And when the negative emotions are erupting and your thinking brain is not working, definitely you're not able to think properly. And every day we are getting stressed because I have mentioned a lot of stresses are there in your life, as I mentioned in the first slide. Let me because we will understand that how these things are impacting life if we study our subconscious mind a little bit. I will not give you the whole science. There was a scientist known as William James, who is considered as American psychology, and he said that your subconscious mind has tremendous power to move the world. It has for it can process around 40 million bits of information in a moment. And whereas our conscious brain has the capacity just 200 bits of information. So conscious brain is 2 millimeter thick layer at the above surface, and it is only 5 to 10% of our mind. Majority of mind is subconscious mind, which is 90 to 95%, and over which we do not have direct control. In fact, subconscious mind is guiding us. So in this figure, it is very prominent that our conscious mind can only process 2000 bits of information, whereas subconscious mind can process 1 billion bits of information. And another important aspect of our subconscious mind is it takes the decision 6 seconds earlier than our conscious mind. So ultimately, whatever decisions, maybe you had taken a decision to attend this workshop. The time when you took the decision, 6 seconds before, your subconscious mind already took the decision that you are going to do this. Every time, whatever decision, whatever action we are taking, in fact, we are thinking that we are taking with our conscious mind, but actually, 6 seconds before, your subconscious has already taken that decision. So, I will explain this. Neuroscientists, they have carried out experiments to explore the source and timing of human decisions, and also to know who or what is in charge of thinking or feeling, decision making, actions and reactions. It is the conscious mind or subconscious mind. In a remarkable neurophysiology experiment, the neuroscientists did this experiment on their patients, and the patients were given two buttons, one in each hand, one in left hand, one in right hand, and they were asked to take instant decision and then press the button, either left or right button, during their functional MRI scan or EEG test. So every patient was there, their functional MRI was there, and EEG test was there, and then they were asked to press the button. We all know that if we use our right hand, we will get the activity at the left side of our brain, and if we will press the left hand, we will show the brain will show the right brain will show some activity, and it is very prominent when we scan it with EEG machine. So that's what is there. However, during EEG and brain scan readings, neuroscientists found that right side of the brain showed activity 6 seconds before the instant decision and pressed the left hand button. So, scientists observed the same result repeatedly, several times, with different patients. And this was really a great surprise to the scientists that how come brain activity emerges 6 seconds before when the patient up his or her mind to press the particular button. So ultimately, I was telling that when the patient is taking instant decision to press the button of the right hand, 6 seconds before the EEG machine is showing the activity on the left side. So that was a surprise to the doctors, and definitely these experiments reveal that our subconscious mind shapes the decision 6 seconds before we consciously take the decision, which clearly says that all our decisions are shaped by our subconscious mind. We are completely programmed individuals. Don't you think that 95% of our action and reactions are automatic? We are driven by our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is actually driving us, and decisions we are making are almost dictated by our subconscious mind. Our actions, emotional reactions, thoughts, attitudes, perceptions are all 95% memorized because it is guided by our subconscious, and we reflect our memorized behavior. We can find the evidences of our habitual learning uh, or automatic responses if we audit our daily behavior. We can easily observe that we repeatedly produce almost same thoughts, same actions, same emotions, and get same experiences every day. Since last 2 years, 3 years, if you audit, we are getting everything same thoughts, same emotions, same experiences, and then that is why we can say that we are auto angry, auto sad, auto worried, auto anxious, auto happy, auto frustrated repeatedly. Whenever we find similar situation in our day-to-day life, we react in the same manner. We brush our teeth, we take bath, wear clothes, comb our hair, or eat our meals in the same way every time. Every time we do whatever we do is programmed. Every day we are being programmed by our environment. So programming is going on, but ultimately it is subconscious mind which is steering us towards something. Uh, we have some limitations also of our subconscious mind because we know that it is processing 40 million bits. It is always guiding us to take the decision because everything is recorded here. But it is very impersonal. Impersonal means it cannot differentiate between good things or bad things. What is good or what is bad for us, subconscious mind doesn't know. It reacts in accordance with the information stored in the form of knowledge, experience, and beliefs. So, whatever information is there, it will act accordingly. If it is good or bad, it doesn't care. So, further, it selects information and it selects the information according to emotional state of being. So, if in our mind there are negative emotions, then if we are analyzing a situation, we will always pick up negative information to analyze because subconscious mind always try to find the match. between your emotional state of mind and between the situation. It will always pick the information which will resonate with your emotional state of being. And that is why it is very dangerous also, because we think when we are in conflict, when we are in anger, when we are in depression, we try to analyze the situation and we think that okay, after analysis we take the decision that we will do this. And actually subconscious mind has suggested the action which will create more problem for you, because it wants to resonate the situation and your mind. So that is why subconscious mind is very, you have to be very careful with your mind state, with your state of emotions in your mind. uh, Subconscious mind simply cannot tell that what is real event or what is something we are simply imagining. Or I will start again. So very, its mind is very impersonal, in fact. So uh, consider that you are getting a nightmare, and a nightmare is very threatening and fearful. So what would happen if you are getting a nightmare? I will just do one thing. In the middle of the night, if you are getting up, you will find that your body is shivering. Your body chemistry is different. Your mind is in having a fear. And why it is happening? Because your subconscious mind consider the nightmare as a real situation. So this is also very important to understand that if we start thinking about negative experiences of our past, or if we tell others about our past negative experiences, our subconscious will perceive this as a real situation, as real as if the same events are happening again right now. And it will release the same set of chemicals as it had released at the time of real event in the past. So you have to be very careful when you are discussing and talking your past bad events with people, because your mind will release the same chemistry as it was released at that time. In the same way, we also have the habit of anticipating our negative future, because majority of us are anticipating something is going to happen wrong. uh, we have always have the anxiety that whether things will unfold in the right manner or not. And we always anticipate adverse future events and start ruminating on them. Our subconscious mind understands such events as a real situation and generates stress producing neurochemicals. So that is also very dangerous. So you have to be very careful thinking or feeling that your future is uncertain or some problem is there. So okay, then subconscious mind produces neurochemistry equivalent to thought and emotions. So it is not only creating your reality, but it is producing equal amount of neurochemistry. That's a job of your brain. So whenever you are thinking something, whenever you are experiencing something, whenever some emotions are coming, actually it has to create the chemical environment which is equivalent to that particular thought or stimulus. So that is why uh, the neurochemicals are being released, and that is why it doesn't respond to what you want. So your subconscious mind doesn't know that what you want. It always responds to who you are. So in fact, what is your state of mind at a particular time, it will respond. And that's why we say that if you really want to have a marvelous or miraculous destiny, always try to live that destiny. Because think in a way, for example, if you want to become a top class businessman, uh, then behave like a businessman, think like a businessman, top class businessman, have emotions like a top class businessman, because then your subconscious mind will respond to that and suggest you proper decisions. proper actions so that you can reach to your future. So that's what is there, and you have to be very careful dealing with your subconscious mind. But then we have some more important questions in our discussion. That is, what is thought? So if you will ask this question to psychologist or person, what is thought? We are not able to see the thought, and we need to give the answer. What is thought physically? What is thought? If say what is a glass, we can show that yes, this is a glass. It's made up of glass. But thought we can't see. What is emotion? So we can give definition. And another question come to our mind is why or how our brain releases stress or positive chemicals according to our thoughts, emotions, and the nature of external stimulus. Why the negative chemicals are being released. So this is also an important question. How our external physical reality is the extension of our mind. In fact, I wanted to tell you this thing that whatever is your reality around you, that you are a person with uh, having some amount of money, having house, having a job, whatever reality, having friends, whatever physical reality is surrounding you is just the extension of your subconscious mind. And whatever is there in your subconscious, the reality will appear in the same way. So why it is that? How it is happening? So that question is there. We need to satisfy uh, these these questions with the answer, and then okay. So I will give answer to all these questions by just moving towards another area, that is physics, and then we will get the answer that what is that. So quantum mechanics people are saying that everything is in this universe has come from nothing, and I will tell you that what is this nothing. uh, we have in our planet, in this universe, we have two entities. One is living organisms or living matter, and another is non-living matter. So we will see that if we go inside the matter, so for example, you take your neurons, brain neurons. If you go inside, you will find there are molecules inside the neurons. These molecules are actually atomic bonds where the various atoms are joining together and forming certain molecules. But what is inside the atom, atom which is making the molecule? So inside the atom, there are electrons and there are protons. There is a nucleus in that protons are there, neutrons are there, and the electrons are spinning around uh, the nucleus. So ultimately, if you go to the micro level, you will find that your brain or your whole body is made up of electrons and quarks. Quarks are actually, the protons and neutrons are made up of quarks. The size of the electron is very tiny, or quarks, very tiny, that it is less than or equal to 10 raised to the power minus 16 centimeter. So it's very small, you can't see with your naked eye. So ultimately, question comes to our mind that what is beyond electron? And the kind of electrons and quarks we have in our mind or in our body or in our living organism like human being, plants or animals. In the same way, non-living matter like this glass, inside this, the electrons which are same. The electrons are intelligent inside this also and inside our mind also. Both are same. There is no difference. So this entire universe is made up of electrons and quarks. But the question comes to our mind that what is beyond electron? Maybe is there something inside the electron? So these subatomic particles. So scientists have found that there is nothing inside electrons or quarks. These subatomic particles are not reliable. They appear as a particle in one moment, and at another moment they disappear into nothing. So beyond electron there is nothing, and electron naturally they live in this nothing as a probability wave, as a wave. This wave is not like wave of water or wave of matter. This wave is a probability wave which you can't see, you can't touch, you can't smell, but it is there. And that is why we say that the whole universe has come from nothing and the electrons are appearing. In this entire nothing, the electrons, protons, quarks, neutrons are living as a waveform, and they are appearing. So millions of billions of electrons are appearing and then again going back to the same nothing. When they are appearing, the electrons and matter and antimatter both are appearing. So antimatter is also there and matter is also there. And when then antimatter and matter means electron, opposite to that is positron. So positron and electron, when they are again colliding, again they are collapsing back, releasing energy and going back to the same vacuum, same nothing. So this is what is happening. And when everything has come from nothing, so it means there is a definite correlation. So the scientists, they have found that all subatomic particles are intelligent, and you can know these things that if you go to the some quantum physics experiment like double slit experiment, delayed choice experiment, certain quantum phenomena like quantum entanglement, quantum superposition. If you read those things, you will find that electrons are intelligent, and that is why now the scientists are saying that this probability wave, which is not visible, is a consciousness. So the basic substance of this universe is not electron. The basic substance of this universe is consciousness. And that same consciousness is there in entire universe. And through evolution in billions of years in life forms, our human consciousness got evolved, which can think, which can observe, which can really analyze. So that is there, but it is 100% connected to that consciousness from there where the electrons are coming. So, in fact, these are the problems in the online we have, and it's difficult to concentrate. Okay, the physicists now defined this particular consciousness wave, something that is spread everywhere throughout the universe, which takes a particular value at every point in space. The value can be changed over time. We can say easily that there is no particles in this universe. The fundamental building block of it is consciousness. So that is why we see this universe. If you see this universe, it is a Milky Way galaxy, which is our galaxy where the solar system is there. And we have found and we have anticipated through mathematical equations that there are 100 billion galaxies like this is there in the universe. So definitely 100 billion suns, 100 billion electron galaxies are there. Maybe there may be 100 billion planets where the life is there. But then we all are somehow connected because we all are the part of the same wave is there. And deep inside, we will guess that now, if we go further, that now we can say that with our naked eye and with the help of microscope, we see the neural brain, which we study as neuroscience. And then sometimes we study with the molecular biology. We study the flow of neurochemicals and neuroelectric charges and blood flow in the brain. with the help of molecular biology, and this molecular biology is providing majority of answers. Uh, so, but according to physics, our mind is look like this because it is just the combination of electrons and protons. Deep inside our brain is a quantum brain, which is not just a separate entity, which is connected to external vibrations. In the same way, the whole human body is quantum body, filled with trillions and trillions of interconnected atoms. Means different atomic bonds create different molecules. These atomic bonds are vibrating actually. More you go into micro level in your mind, more it is active. From outside, you see the rocks, you see the mountains which are looking very static. But if you go inside the atom, inside the bonds, then these are vibrating. Electrons are spinning, protons are spinning and rotating on their axis and moving and vibrating. The bonds are also vibrating. So entire brain is actually vibrating, and outside reality is also vibrating. So if you see your table, your laptop, your glasses, your mobile phone, if you go inside, you will definitely find the vibrations, and these vibrations are actually connected, and that is why we have human mind is always vibrating. The nature of chemical actually changes with changes in the vibrations of the atomic bonds. If you make atom heavier with having within the nucleus, if you increase the number of protons or neutrons, the atom will become heavier, the bonds will change, the vibration will change. So the different chemicals which we see, different elements, chemicals like norepinephrine or serotonin or dopamine or hormones like cortisol or vasopressin, you can keep naming. These are all different because their vibrations are different. Uh, their atomic vibrations are different. So, in fact, every chemical has different vibrations. So, our subconscious mind has the capacity to recognize these vibrations. That's a very important study now we are making in the quantum biology. When you study quantum biology, which is much beyond molecular biology, then you will understand that the cells or the mind is able to understand the vibrations, and not only our own vibrations but also the external vibrations. That's why this slide is there. So from outside, the whole universe is look like a quiet, but more we go inside, more universe is vibrant. That's very clear from the slide. Every atomic bond is vibrating. Uh, okay, let me just clarify this one. The figure is in the screen is showing vibrations or the frequencies, and a life or non-life matter are vibrating, and these vibrations are not restricted to matter's physical boundaries. That's very important part. In fact, these vibrations are moving outside the boundaries and connected with other vibrations. So our vibrations are moving outside, and that's very clear if you will go and see the phenomena of quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling means no matter how much the barrier is there, the electrons in the waveform crosses the barrier, and electrons are there before the barrier also and outside the barrier also they can appear, and that is why the sun is shining, because in the nuclear fusion, if you see, the hydrogen atoms are joining to form helium, and huge amount of energy is being released. It is only because the protons are actually tunneling and crossing the boundaries of their atoms. And when they are crossing, so that is why we say that the electrons and quarks which are there in our mind, they are also moving out and coming in. So this is happening, and quarks are strangely getting disappeared and again reappear in our brain. And quantum biology is very interesting thing to understand, and that is why we are connected to all these universe. So quantum physics tell us so many things, and biology also tell us so many things. So ultimately, it is now we come to conclusion that the quantum vibrations are there, and this quantum vibration creates conscious resonance. In the physics, if some science students are here attending this workshop, definitely they were knowing that in our school time we were doing some resonance experiment. So when the frequency of two different sounds are matching, then the sound is sustained. And this is what is happening. The frequency is matching. That every thought and every emotion in the consciousness is resonating. So that resonance takes place. It is very evident from if you tune your guitar strings. Two guitar strings frequency, if their frequency matches, we hear resonance because sound is sustaining. And if the two frequency of two strings are not matching, the sound is collapsing, and we do not listen sustained sound, and that is why the resonance is there. In the same way, we can say that our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, all are in fact resonating because everywhere there is a vibration, as I have discussed. So our beliefs, our emotions, our thoughts, knowledge, experience, external physical realities, all are vibrating. And when these vibrations matches, resonance takes place. And when these vibrations are not matching, then definitely uh, the waves are collapsing. And this consciousness resonance is there. And our subconscious mind wants to uh, keep this resonance. Now, coming back to our discussion, that if we have negative emotions in our mind, negative like fear, anxiety, and anger, and we believe that we are not going to get something beautiful. So, what is happening? The subconscious mind will recognize these vibrations, and then it will try to pick up from the reality the same kinds of vibrations, so that there is a resonance. So our subconscious mind is in fact a resonance creating machine, and it is creating the resonance. And that is why we always take wrong decisions in when we are in negative state of mind. And we have to be very conscious. Einstein was a great scientist and philosopher. Once he told, the idea which looks very absurd in the beginning becomes very productive idea in future. And why he said this, why the idea looks absurd, I will tell you. Because if your mind is negative, conflicting, and idea is good, the resonance would not be there. So your conscious mind will perceive that this idea is absurd. Your conscious mind will reject because the vibrations are not matching. But that idea is fruitful and productive because it is productive. So that is why we say that when you are in conflict, when you are in negative state of mind, the decision which looks irrelevant, you take that decision. It will be successful because it would be opposite to negative, it would be positive. But if you are in good health, if your mind is positive, if you have a lot of good things in your mind, then you the idea which looks good, then you select that. Very important uh, event happened in the time that we take always we take wrong decision. Uh, There was a criminal, and he came to know that one police officer is coming to catch him. That criminal was very much influential, and he was having a lot of good contacts with the system, in the system. And then the police officer, he got the information, and he was he was trying to decide that what should I do, whether I should wait for that officer, kill him and then run away, or I should run away right now. That was the decision making in his mind. But actually, his mind was in fear, in anxiety, in anger. Definitely, he took the wrong decision, and he stayed to kill that officer. He wanted that if that officer is removed, his problem would be solved. But then, after killing, uh, he ran away, and the whole police department caught him and shot him. Uh, if he was in cool mind, he would have run away in the evening even, and nothing would have happened. So that is why I always say that in your day-to-day life, when your mind is negative, you will always get the idea from your subconscious mind, as I have described the person. Your selection of information from the situation in such a way that it will resonate with your mind vibrations. So that is very important part to understand. And then we get the answer that what is thought? Thought is actually a vibration in consciousness. So our subconscious mind understand that vibration and then release the chemical equivalent to that vibration, so that there is a resonance to maintain the body health. And if the thought is negative, negative vibration chemical which is matching to that vibration will go. And what is emotion? It is also a kind of vibration in the consciousness. And why and how our brain releases stress or positive chemicals according to our thought, emotion, and nature of external stimulus. It is very clear that our brain wants to create the resonance, and that is why it is releasing that chemical or positive chemical according to our thoughts, so that resonance is being created, the vibrations are matched. Then another question, that how our external physical reality is extension of our mind. Of course, uh, because our mind is vibrating in certain pattern, and that is why we are taking decision, we are taking actions according to our state of mind, and that is why the results are coming, and we are creating our own external physical reality, and our subconscious mind is guiding. So we do not have direct control, and we have only control that we can make our mind positive with the emotional intelligence, which is the right word right now. So what we will do from here onwards, we will think that how we can uh, develop our emotions. So we know the brain chemistry. When we have negative thoughts, negative events, negative situation, our brain is hijacked, and lot of negative emotions like anger, fear, anxiety, depression, frustration, uncertainty, everything is there in our mind. Okay. So how to really develop your emotional intelligence? Now I am coming to that point. The first thing is affect labeling. This is first intervention. Now I'm coming to intervention program, because how our brain is working, everybody now knows, and how the vibrations are matching, and we are creating our destiny. And that is why if we have negative emotions as shown in picture, what you have to do, you have to give name to your emotion, and which is very important. A psychology professor is Matthew Lieberman coined the term affect labeling. It is a process of naming the emotion that we are feeling actually in any intense situation. Under this technique, instead of pushing ourselves away from intense negative emotion, we have to get closer to it by feeling it, by identifying it, and by naming it. So we have to name the emotion. That is, in fact, the strategy that instead of running away from your anger, trying to avoid your anger, you are getting closer to it. You are feeling it, and you are actually नेमिंग इट. एंड कभी कभी एक गाना इसी में दिमाग में आता है कि बहुत पहले आया था कि इस प्यार को क्या नाम दूं, वैसे ही आप करिए कि इस इमोशन को क्या नाम दूं. तो अगर आप परेशान हैं आपके नेगेटिव इमोशन में, तो गिव एप्रोप्रिएट नेम ऑफ योर इमोशन and name it to tame it. That is the slogan. And you can give name like I am frustrated and out of control, and you get closer to your emotion gradually. Your blood and oxygen will start flowing towards your prefrontal cortex, and amygdala will would be calmed down. And to verify the effectiveness of this technique, scientists they did the brain scanning with fMRI machine, and where the people under fMRI machine is actually searching the flow of electric charge, flow of chemicals, blood flow in the mind. So ultimately, where people under fMRI machine, they were shown some photographs, uh, like expressing strong negative emotions, and their brain signals showed greater activity in amygdala region. Why the brain signals showed? Because the picture was really fearsome, really very fearful, and very erratic picture was there. So people, when they watched that picture, immediately their amygdala started erupting negative emotions like fear. So that's why in fMRI machine they find signal uh, in the amygdala region. When the same people were asked to name the emotion, as I have said, and when they named the emotion, their brain signals showed reduction in the activity of amygdala and greater activity in the frontal lobe, uh, where we have the thought brain. So that is why naming the emotion will definitely redirect the flow of blood and oxygen uh, towards your amygdala. Further, again, when the same people asked to name the gender shown in picture, okay, that's what is the problem in the online workshop. Always we are getting disturbance through phone and all. Okay, so I was saying that when same people asked to name the gender in the picture, which is not naming the emotion, but just name what is the gender in this movie, in this picture, what I have shown. But when the people name the gender, then there is no reduction in the activity of in the amygdala. It means whatever you say, if you are not getting closer to your emotion, if you are not naming it properly, then of course your amygdala will not calm down. It will only calm down when you will name it properly. So that's what is the first strategy uh, uh, to tame your negative emotions. Another important strategy is emotional audit. So ultimately, the emotional audit is designed to ask strategic questions that can change the focus from emotional brain to thought brain. The emotional audit questions refocus our activity away from emotional brain and redirect the flow of blood and oxygen from amygdala towards the prefrontal cortex to gain more cognitive control. You can ask the questions like, what am I feeling? You can ask the question that, what am I thinking? Uh, then, what is my real objective? What do I want now? How I can do this way, the way I want, and what do I need to do differently? So when you start auditing your emotion with these questions, then suddenly the blood starts flowing towards your prefrontal cortex, and then you would be able to control your eruption of negative emotions. But these two techniques which I have told, there are some other techniques like mindfulness and reappraisal of the situation and so on. Uh, but I'm not going into those two. If you apply these two techniques on yourself in whenever you are emotionally charged badly, then you can control the eruption of your emotions. Instead of counting 10, you go for emotional audit, which is a better way to control your mind, and affect labeling, that कुछ नाम दीजिए अपने emotion को and get closer to your emotion. But these two techniques are just the instant solution for avoiding the emotional hijack. These are not enough. According to Seligman, we need to fill our mind with positive emotions and develop our positive affectivity. For that, we need to embrace some other techniques because we must dive and swim in the ocean of positive emotions. So, I'm going to tell you some other important techniques which can keep you positive in your entire day, because these techniques you can use at the time of intense situations, but day to day, every second, every minute, every hour, we are getting emotionally hijacked because we are getting involved into various different types of activities. So that is why we need to find another techniques. Let me go another technique, that is hemisync meditation. Hemisync meditation is wonderful technique to uh, fill your mind with positivity. Since last many years, we were carrying a myth that it is extremely difficult and take exceedingly long time to change our beliefs. But researchers in the field of neuroscience and epigenetics and cell biology reveal that we can put a seed of new belief in our subconscious mind within 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, we can change our belief. At least we can sow our seed of new belief. And by giving continued attention on that seed, by nurturing that seed of new belief, we can replace the old negative belief with the new one. And for that, we use this technique. We have two of hemispheric sync. Why the name is hemispheric sync? Those who are from medical field and psychology and neuroscience, they know it. And those who are not, for them, it is important to explain this one, that our brain longitudinally, if we divide our brain, it is in two parts. One is left brain, another is right brain. So we have two cerebral hemisphere, left and right. The state when both of our left and right cerebral hemisphere are activated and working together in synchrony is known as hemispheric sync. To create hemisync position, we need to make both left and right hemisphere active at the same time. Actually, there is a theory of brain dominance since our child. In the childhood, our brains are always in hemisync. Actually, if you see this picture, normal person, the brains are not in sync. Another is after 15 minutes of meditation, your brain is getting sync, the red zone which you are watching in the figure. And after 25 minutes of meditation, you find the complete sync in the brain. So why these two brains are not syncing? Because there is a dominance. When the brain is synced, you learn so many things. Your learning becomes very fast. That is why the child, they can learn four languages at a time. There is no problem for them. We are not able to learn even a single language after we have grown. So that is why. Why? Because our brain is not in sync. For the child, brain is always in sync because they are working with their subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is developed after 20 years, and then our brain dominance theory is there because left brain is a logical brain, and it protects the belief system, the experiences, the knowledge, the recordings, whatever you have in your mind, it protects that. And right brain is little bit weaker brain than left, and it is actually thinking, it is a creative brain. And in fact, uh, whenever you are exposed to new things or new philosophy, your left brain immediately reject that and overpower that. So left brain is always overpowering your right, and that is why your learning is slow and both brains are not syncing. So this theory of brain dominance you can study. I will not explain in detail, but then in hemispheric sync, uh, how can you create that? I will come to that point. To create hemispheric sync, we need to make both left and right hemisphere active. To do that, we should sit quietly on a chair and or a floor with crossed arms and leg posture so that we can activate both our left and right hemispheres of our brain. We can keep our eyes closed. Why I am saying this? Because as I have mentioned, if you are doing the right hand activity, your left brain is active. But if you cross your right hand on the left side and do some activity, your right brain will become active. And if you cross your left hand to the right side, your left brain will active. So cross position, when you are crossing your legs from the center, when you are crossing your arms and sitting quietly, slowly your brain will become, your left and right both brain will become active simultaneously in the same time. And when you are trying to cool down in that situation with the meditation, then your brain is sinking. Both is sinking. When both are sinking, you can change your belief, you can change your experience, you can change anything. So let me go further, that when you keep your eyes closed, start imagining that electrons and quarks are spinning inside your mind, inside your trillions of cells in your body and mind. After 10-15 minutes, you would be able to create hemisync brain, what is shown in the figure. And when your brain is in hemisync, when your mind waves are in theta waves or alpha waves, you can start narrating the belief what you have and what new belief you want to create. For example, you want to create that I am the best person in this field and I am going to be highly successful and I am the highest successful person. If you want to change your beliefs, you can narrate the same in the hemisync position with the meditation. After, sorry, I have wrongly I checked design. And then your body will become a kind of weightless and energy is free flowing between the two brains, left and right. After speaking your sentences which you want to sow as a seed in your subconscious mind, then you continue your meditation, sitting quietly for another 20 minutes or so, concentrating on your breathing and thinking without thinking anything. And this practice will replace your negative beliefs with positive ones, and you would be able to quiet your mind, generating positive vibrations in the mind. If you do this practice every day, maybe in the morning or maybe in the night, your mind starts will start getting positive, filled with positive vibrations. Once your mind is in positive vibrations, your subconscious mind immediately pick positive information from outside, and your decision making will improve. In situation, whatever decision you will take in this state, it will become productive decision. Uh, your analysis will improve. Whatever analysis you are doing with the information for taking out the decision, your analysis would be perfect because your perceptual selection of information would be correct because you are picking up the right vibrations, and that is the key to control your destiny, your health, everything. Even your body chemistry, when it will become positive, your genetic expressions will change into positive side. So this is very important exercise. And uh, after this, the another technique is be a part of solution. For many problems or situation, we should be a part of solution. Solutions are actually inherently positive, where the problems are inherently negative. The moment we begin thinking in terms of solutions, we instantly become positive and constructive human being. We should always look for opportunities to add value to others' life. But if you audit your own life, your own day-to-day activities, believe me, majority of us will find that we are always thinking about the problems. Why this problem is, who has created this problem, why he has created this problem. So ultimately, we are always talking and thinking about the problem. But if we start asking, okay, no problem, whatever is the problem, we should start asking that what is the solution of this problem. Normally, in the business world, managers, when the salesperson is going to manager and saying that, sir, this is a problem, the first answer manager gives, okay, if this is a problem, what is the solution? Have you thought of any solution? So this is what is there. So ultimately, if you are a part of solution, you are positive. If you are a part of problem, you are a negative person. To fill your mind with positive vibrations, start practicing from today that whatever problem you are facing in this COVID-19 or in any part, with your relationships, with your with your financial crisis, always just ask, what is the solution? And tell yourself that I have the solution. And change your belief through hemisync process, hemisync meditation. If you do that, your mind will become positive. Okay, coming to another point, that is ego dilution. As I have mentioned, that we have a lot of ego pretensions. So by diluting our ego and accepting ourselves as we are, we can get away from our ego pretensions. So first we should accept whatever we are fine. It is exceedingly important for us to fall in love with ourselves. There is nothing wrong in us. We all are special human beings with tremendous possibilities. Each of us has a unique talent which is given by the nature. Nobody human being is there who is not having some talent or other. So ultimately, nature has given some instinct to every human being. It's just a matter of realizing it. So the problem is that we search someone whom we can love. We always search someone whom we can love and get love from him. But we don't realize that we ourselves are only that someone who should love us the most. So ourselves are actually that someone who should love us. The moment we start loving ourselves, accept ourselves completely, we no longer require others' love and acceptance. At the same time, we should not give too much importance to ourselves because nobody cares. So, accepting yourself is important, and stop ego pretensions. So, just be transparent for that and tell everybody whatever is there. Normally, nobody bothers what are your problems. So just don't think what others will think. Don't care. I have seen a movie, Fugitive. In that movie, the police officer was always saying that I don't care and I don't bargain. I care only for my job. So ultimately, if you care only for your betterment, your emotions, your positivity, that's fine. And you are not doing anything wrong. So don't care and even don't get into any bargain position with others. So that is very important. Accept yourself, ego potentials, and sometimes we feel that we are a very important person. Everyone should respect us. Believe me, nobody cares. So, giving yourself love is important, but don't think that you are a very important person for this world. Everyone is replaceable. Everyone. So, same as us. So that is very important part, and this is the biggest source of negative vibrations. If we do that, we can really uh, create better emotional intelligence. And as I have mentioned earlier, that we have, this is not enough. We need to finally coming to another part, that we have to fill our brain with positive vibrations, as Seligman says. And Seligman actually was pioneer in developing the positive psychology, and he was into an opinion that it's not just a normal brain. Normal brain, which is free of negative affectivity, is not going to really give you better results. Your brain filled with positive affectivity will give you better results in your all your endeavors. So in terms of your health, in terms of your destiny, in terms of your success, wealth acquisition, everything, your positive effectivity will definitely play a major part. Negative experience is very rapid in our brain. So our brain is catching negative experience very fast and negative things very fast, whereas the positive things are not sustaining in our mind. So it is only because we have cortisol. The cortisol hormone is always we get pleasure, and many of us I have seen they want certain kind of kick, they want certain kind of sensation, and that is why they like adrenaline, which is rushing into their bloodstream, and that is why uh, they are having a lifestyle very fast every day uh, in the market. Some people are in fact daily trying to get certain adventure so that then they can feel pressure. But I think these enjoyment with the adrenaline and cortisol is very dangerous, because if you keep your body with this chemistry, suddenly your genes will start expressing in negative manner, and you may face a lot of chronic problems also in the later part of life. Your aging will become very fast, and very soon you will look like old person, and your mind definitely will not work, and you will pick up negative vibrations from outside, and you will create your wrong destiny or very poor average performances. So this is the limitation of our brain, that good experiences never persist long in our brain. So that is why we have to keep on filling it with positive emotions. We have to put some efforts intentionally in our brain. Uh, what I have done for this, that I have selected around 40 to 45 emotions, writing down name, and then put some statistical analysis. And actually, we cannot keep on filling our mind with 40, 4500 types of emotions. We need to have certain factor analysis. And then after doing that, I developed 4 category of emotions. These 4 category of emotion comprises almost more than 45 types of emotions, which are positive in nature. And to simplify things, I have done this. And if you fill your mind every day intentionally with your conscious effort with these 4 categories of emotions, then believe me, and with other practices, what I have suggested, you can create miraculous performance in your life. So let me just tell you what are these 4 categories of emotions. Further slide. The first category is faith, uh, which is very important emotion. Faith is a strong emotional tool that can manifest our desired physical reality out of nothing. We can't get success without having faith on it. So first we need to keep faith on our destiny, on our success. It is a belief in the unseen and invisible that is going to be revealed in future. Faith actually gives us complete assurance about our success in life. So you have to keep faith on whatever you are actually having a having in your mind. If you are having faith in God, you have faith in God. If you are having faith in universal consciousness, you should have faith in universal consciousness. If you are having faith in nature, you should have faith in nature. So, because faith is not hope. Faith is not hope. I am repeating. Faith is actually a guarantee of success. So, faith is not hope, it is a guarantee of success. So, faith is about already knowing that something good is going to happen. So, when you have a faith that something is good is going to happen, then definitely your mind is filled with positive vibrations. Uh, and I'm making you a little bit conscious that faith is not about extrinsic religious practices like um, wearing special color clothes or going to mosque or temple or fasting or walking many miles barefoot and to go to the temple. Faith is not extrinsic practices suggested by various religions. So ultimately, we shouldn't go for extrinsic thing and ringing a bell and creating a sound or wearing some special color clothes. No, no. It is a complete surrender. It is very intrinsic one. It is a complete surrender to God or universal consciousness, whomsoever you believe in. But actually, you have to surrender that yes, everything is going to happen in a right manner, and in future, everything is going to unfold in a right manner. And worry ends where faith begins. And there is a saying, there is a research that faith and fear cannot coexist. So if you are having a fear, it means you are not having a faith. So faith and fear cannot coexist. So if you have a faith, you don't have any fear. So either you have faith or some on something good or going to happen, or you are afraid of failure. Fear is in fact faith of failure. So you can define fear as faith of failure. There was one writer, Napoleon Hill, a famous writer uh, of the bestseller book. You have heard the name of that book, Think and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich book was mentioned that he mentioned that faith is a very strong emotion and is the head chemist of mind. When faith is blended with positive thoughts, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibrations and translate them into a kind of positive reality. So, be it health or wealth. So positive reality means it may be your health or it may be your wealth. And faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries, actually, we cannot understand or analyze by the Newtonian science. So ultimately, definitely, it is faith is antidote for all failures. And have faith in yourself, in your instinct, in your quality, in your existence, and in your future. And faith is more futuristic. So in quantum physics, future, past, present all exist together. Past has not gone and future is there in the present. So ultimately, if you have faith, you are actually satisfying the future vibrations. So that is the correlation of consciousness vibrations. The second important category is gratitude. And I think we have one participant attending this particular workshop, and she has practiced this gratitude exercise and she got miraculous results in her life. So I think it works, and it worked on me also. So even in the midst of all greatest difficulties, we have always something that is actually for which we are grateful. And it is the most powerful force, a secret of life, I can tell you, that it's a feeling of being blessed. It opens all the doors of endless possibilities in our life, and it teaches us not to focus on what we don't have. Instead, it helps us to focus on what we have and say thanks for having those. So, when you have a gratitude, you have to say thanks to everything, whatever you have, and for that, you have to be very attentive. Gratitude has tremendous power to heal also your body. Feeling grateful increases the oxytocin level in your body, and that helps us in reducing depression and stress, uh, making us more resilient towards the trauma, and maintaining heart rate, well being, etc. By being thankful, we can repair and rebuild uh, our most weird interpersonal relationships also. So this is important one. Most of us normally actually ungrateful to what we don't have in life, and in turn we make sure that we shouldn't get them. So that is a very important thing, and that's the irony of our life, that we all always search something for which we are not grateful. We are ungrateful, and actually we should follow the reverse practice, and that uh, we feel grateful for what we have, and that is important. We should really develop habit to sit down every day and become grateful for everything that we have. And for doing so, we will find that there is so much in our life for which we should be thankful. This regular practice of showing great gratitude towards all beautiful things that we have in life makes very effective contribution in getting tremendous success in life. uh, for being grateful, we should adopt double A formula. I'm not putting that in screen. What is that double A formula? Is attention and appreciation. So attend to your best things in life and then appreciate it. Gratitude is not limited to just giving thanks. No, it is not limited to that. Or it is not limited to writing that I am grateful for this, I am grateful for that, I am thankful for this which is happening, and writing down a list of things which for which you are grateful. As I have seen in Shoshank diary, it was written. But that exercise will not work much. You have to attend to small things every day and then appreciate it with your words. So if you meet some person, you find he's very talented, he's very knowledgeable, is adding value to your life, you attend his excellence, and then you try to appreciate that, yes, you are so good, you are so talented, and you have added a lot of value in my life. So once you appreciate others, actually your mind is releasing oxytocin, and that is very important part. So in fact, we are being taught how to give good things, but we are not being taught about how to receive good things. That is very important part. Actually, we try to give, but we are not attentive that what we are getting. Actually, we are not able to receive. We are very careless. We so many things which are happening good, we leave it. We don't care about that. We only care about what we are not getting, and that is why we are always creating wrong vibrations and wrong destiny, and also wrong relationships. So that is very important part to understand. With proper attention to detail, should take we should take opportunity each day to appreciate every person for everything that he or she does for us. Mere giving thanks, as I have mentioned, will not work. It should be complemented by praise of words for every accomplishment, irrespective of its size. So, if you are doing any accomplishment, you praise it, you appreciate it, and thank it. And in the same way, if others are doing something good for you, you praise it, appreciate it, and thank. So, this is what is the rule. If you follow this gratitude exercise, and you can practice gratitude in hemisync meditation also, so that everything is going straight away to your mind when your two minds are in synced position, and then you will find miraculous results in whether it is health or wealth or emotional control. This is a wonderful emotion. We have to feel it. As per the Seligman is saying that positive affectivity for creating in our brain. The third important category is love. It refers to an emotion of a strong magnet, and a personal attachment. So it is a pure magnet. It's a kind of personal commitment with others. Your personal commitment with your parents, with your children, with your partner, with your God, with your neighbor, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your country, and you can cultivate things. So why? And love is not actually the lust. Lust is different, in fact. Lust is a very temporary sexual desire involving the release of testosterone or estrogen kind of hormones. But true love, in long term state in which our brain releases pheromones, dopamine, or oxytocin, serotonin, these chemicals are being released when you are feeling love for people, for everything, for your country, for whatever I have mentioned. So, uh, as I've said, that these kind of chemical like pheromones or dopamine or oxytocin, what I have mentioned right now, will generate very good vibrations in your entire body, and your entire body chemically will generate better genetic expressions also, and you will get the power to utilize your 100% IQ, and even to increase your IQ level. So these chemical produces happiness and decrease in the stress level, and it is the best antidepressant. That is why the love is the best antidepressant. Depressant. Uh, Love promote long-term interpersonal relationships also. It gives us the strength to perform the act of kindness or generosity or self-sacrifice. When we fall in love with someone, suddenly the whole world turned into wonderland. And I think most of us have experience of this. And definitely everything looks beautiful. We automatically turn into an artist. There is incredible increase in our energy level in this emotional state, and it is definitely antidote for all kinds of hatred and anger. So that is why you need to feel love, and I am experiencing, I'm trying to do that. And whenever I am moving, I try to see every person with the angle of love. I think that this person is good, maybe wrong or right, but I try to see everything with the angle of love so that I can release more oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin in my body. Uh, Finally, the last category is very important, which is compassion. And compassion, we need to describe it a little bit more, because many of us have wrong definition of, wrong interpretation of compassion. It is normally we think that compassion is empathy. Yes, empathy is a part of compassion, but compassion is not completely empathy. Empathy means how much you are putting your leg in on other shoes, and you are feeling what others are feeling. but it is not enough. So, compassion is our feeling of sympathy for the suffering of others and increases our desire to help them. When we are compassionate, we feel pain for others and we become more altruistic in nature and rational. And to be compassionate, we should be empathic, definitely. But compassion is not empathy. Empathy is when we have a somatic resonance or a kind of affective resonance or cognitive resonance with the person whom we are compassionate with his sufferings. But it is a kind of fusion. But what is happening is if we go deep into someone's suffering, we will keep empathizing with him. Uh, we may go into empathic distress because if we are empathizing more with the pain of others, definitely we will get distress and our brain will start releasing negative chemicals. So that is why we have to be very cautious. We have to have empathy but very strong back, and that is why there is a Dr. John Halifax. uh, she worked a lot in compassion, and she said that compassion is capacity to attend to the experiences of others, and we should always be willing to help everyone around us. And Dalai Lama was saying that compassion requires very strong back, so that you should not go into others' pain, and very soft front, so that we can allow others to come closer to us, touch us, our hearts, but at the same time, we can distinguish ourselves from others and stand firmly to help them. So we should not actually get overwhelmed with others' pain. So, compassion definitely enhances our immune system. It activates all reward centers in our brain and releases ample amount of oxytocin. In a neuroscientific experiment, doctors once asked a group of students to take the money, and sometime later they asked students to give the same money to needy people. They found that more oxytocin was released in the brain when students were giving their money to others, and less oxytocin was released when they were taking money. So it is all about when you are giving, when you are helping others, then more oxytocin is released in your mind, and then your mind is filled with more positive vibrations. Oxytocin can be released in various social situations. For example, when mother is breastfeeding her child, it is being released. When you interact with your children, oxytocin is released. When you give soft and tender care to someone, oxytocin is released. So this is what you can do. You can do a lot of exercises, so then you can power the trigger and generate more and more oxytocin in your mind and brain and body. Uh, Quantum mechanics says that nothing is external. Compassion has got relationship with that because nothing is external, everything is a wave, consciousness wave. So hence, when we look at the world will look on us in the same way. So if we are looking at the world with anger, with frustration, the world will also look at us with anger. But if we are compassionate, instantly we make connection with human minds and spread peace and happiness. So when we are compassionate with others, we will get the same, and that is why it is linked. And with this compassion, it is very you can create your destiny. Here, I would like to request you one thing, that please don't consider today's workshop as another addition in your knowledge repertoire. You need to understand that all interventions that we have discussed today should be integral part of your actions that you are taking to achieve your goals in life. In fact, normally we set goals and then we set action plans to achieve the same, but we do not include these emotional strategies in our action plan to achieve the goal. That's what is a problem. And that is why we produce very average results. So what you do is you set goals, that what you are going to do in next 5 years. You develop your action plans, but then in your action plan, these actions, what I have suggested today, you must include. It should be integral part of your entire action plan to achieve your goal. Believe me, you can create miraculous results in every terms, and your mind would be very relaxed, very positive. I have started this exercise many years back and I got a lot of benefit. And in these days, this last four parts, I was not practicing, but now I am feeling it like a glass of water. I am feeling it with faith, with love, with compassion and gratitude every day I am practicing. And believe me, I am getting miraculous response from the nature. And a famous neuroscientist, Dr. Rick Hanson, he said that positive emotions organizes our brain as a whole, actually, and produce far-reaching results. So, for example, what we do, the mistake what we do is we are very positive for our goal. So we make our goal, we write our wishes, we tend to prepare our list of strategies to achieve that goal, and we think that we are very positive. But actually, we are negative on other sides, that we are arguing with someone, we are not compassionate, we are not with love, we do not have faith, or we are getting hijacked in different situations. So your mind is in conflicting stage. At one end, you are positive with your goal, and at another end, you are getting lot of emotional disturbances, and your mind will not work because your subconscious will not help you to achieve your destiny. You will say, "Oh, I was very positive for my goal, but why didn't I get the result?" You didn't get because you were negative for other aspects, and your subconscious is very impersonal. It will work as per the vibrations in the mind. And as I have mentioned, negative vibrations sustain for a very long time, and the positives uh, go away within no time. So you have to put lot of extra effort to keep positive vibrations and to keep negative vibrations away. You cannot ask, or subconscious mind cannot discriminate that this person is positive for his goal, so we should select positive. This person is negative for this aspect, we should select negative. No, subconscious is cannot discriminate like this. So it works as a whole. That is why Dr. Rick Hanson said that it as a whole and produce far. So we need to develop brain as a whole positive vibration. We have to develop your emotional. If you develop emotional intelligence, adopting all these interventions that I have suggested today, believe me, you can alter your existing physical reality, whatever it is. You can alter that. You can create your exceptional future. You can almost stop your aging. Your active age will increase. Your elasticity of your skin will prolong for a very long time, and you can alter your genetic expressions also into positive direction, and you can achieve extraordinary wealth also in life. So this is very important part to have emotional intelligence. So I think there are so many things to talk about, many other strategies, but I have tried to finish things within the time frame. And now I would like to open the session for your questions so that you can get more insight in the topic. And once again, thank you for Dr. Veena for giving me opportunity to interact with prudent participants in this platform. Thank you very much.
So this session is open for questions now. Anybody is having any questions that they have or they would like to discuss It was
Uh,
wonderful. Hmm. Yes.
may I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay. What I'm going to say just now, you have already mentioned that it's not possible for you for us to have faith as well as fear
Yes.
coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already said that.
Yeah.
Having said that, it is a very natural, it's a very natural emotion. Fear is a very natural and a universal emotion. And we cannot completely eradicate it, number one.
Yes.
Number two, the thing is that it also to an extent is a good emotion to have in moderation. When we have this emotion of fear in moderation, it's a good thing to have,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to just say, I don't know whether in fact, I don't know, I haven't been able to frame a question. I don't know whether it'll take a form of a question or it'll just be something that I will be narrating as part of what I experience.
Okay.
So yes, I do practice gratitude. Having said that, there are times when I'm very angry,
Yes.
and I do acknowledge, and I do know about the person that I'm angry with. I do know that person's contribution, and I do acknowledge that person's the work, the positives that that person has.
Hmm.
At that point of time, it's a very I don't know how I feel, because I'm angry with this person, but I also know that this person does a lot of work, and that this person is a very good person, and all of that.
Hmm.
So I keep reminding myself that no, but this person has all the good qualities. But at that point of time, the feeling of gratitude doesn't do much to reduce my anger.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's very important question you have asked. The first thing what you have said, that fear or faith, definitely when you have faith for the future, faith is in fact a kind of future emotion. That if you have a faith, then you do not have much fear of something is wrong is going to happen. So that is why I have said faith and fear cannot coexist. But if you will take fear as an instant reaction to a situation which is coming to you in the present, when you are moving from future, when you are talking in future, fear and faith cannot coexist. But in the present situation, if there is some situation that you are correct, that fear is your instant response, because you need energy in your body to fight and flight. So that is why fear is the emotion which is there, and you cannot avoid that. But at that time you can do some exercises so that instantly the hijack you can reduce a little, so that you can give little more power to your prefrontal cortex to think of. This is one part, and that is why all the techniques are there. So with just gratitude practice or with just faith practice, you cannot eliminate fear. And I'm not saying to eliminate the fear, because you require norepinephrine, you require cortisol, you require serotonin, adrenaline to fight with the situation, because you need extra energy at that time in the
Right,
situation. So, but at the same time, you need to ensure that you are not so much hijacked,
right,
that so your brain chemistry is sustaining for a long time with that. So that is why I have said that you need to
correct,
control that,
right,
so that you can keep of good genetic expressions. The second part, you have said that person is there and he is doing good for you, and at the same time you are angry with him on certain points. Believe me, you need to audit, in fact, that why you are getting angry, because emotional audit is very important, that what is your objective and what are the reasons why you are getting angry. But if you will do it when you are angry, then certainly your perception, your subconscious mind will always pick the wrong vibrations, and then you will not get the right results. So best thing is just come to a state where you are completely positive, and at that time, if you are picking up everything, keeping that person aside and picking up information and doing analysis step by, your subconscious definitely tell you the reason that why you are angry and how you can mitigate that anger. I can tell you
Yes,
the,
I totally agree
but
with
you have to.
I totally agree with you, and I
One more thing I just want to suggest you, that if you are practicing whatever I have suggested, you are doing emotional audit, you are doing that, but then you have to find out that what are your stressors, and then you have to find out that in whole day, how many times you are getting hijacked. If it is continuing, it means there is some problem in your entire practice. So fill
got it.
it, and fill it with these four category of emotions, and
Okay.
remove your ego, dilute your ego, and be a part of solution. And then you will reach to a stage after 10-15 days where your mind is completely in beta waves, sorry, theta waves. And then at that time, if you will analyze, believe me, you will find the answer.
Okay. ठीक है. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I had a question.
Yes, yes,
I'm Blessy. I'm a psychology student from Sagar University. So,
yes,
sir, I want to thank you for bringing the positive emotions and how they influence us. You really put it up well as you were talking about the four
yeah,
positive emotions. But as
yes.
I was just listening to you, there was one point that was coming to me, and this was something that was raised in Madam Swar's question as well. So, what came to my mind was that the negative emotions like anger, frustration, hatred, these are the emotions which come more readily to us, and the positive
Yes,
emotions have to be brought with a lot of effort. So
yeah.
when I see myself just pushing myself to practice the positive emotions, so there is something that comes to my mind that these are more like some sort of a repression and suppression taking place. Like I have tried practicing them. So let's say 5 days I'm not acknowledging that I'm frustrated at somebody, or I'm having ill feelings for somebody. Let's say like that, and then 5 days I'm just denying this matter. But then the sixth day, or let's say one week later, when the negative emotion comes out, so in spite of I was thinking I'm practicing gratitude, I was thinking I was practicing love, but then in reality I was actually practicing repressions and suppressions also along
Okay.
with that. And what the end result was, that I think that in spite of practicing the positive results, the end result became out to be negative. So my
Yeah.
question to you was that, and then we know that these repressions and suppressions, these are what do you say? These are defense mechanisms. So in the long run, it is not good to practice the defense mechanisms, and they will have their own repercussions. So my
Okay.
question is that while we push ourselves towards the practice of positive emotions, how can we also keep a check that we are not going into the line of defense mechanisms unconsciously or even
Okay.
consciously?
Okay. Actually, you will not get the direct answer like this. I have to tell you something different. That is how our mind works. So normally I do this exercise in the classes. I asked a person who is sitting on the back bench, and I asked him that you come to me. When he comes to, so he starts and is coming out of his bench, taking the route which is there in the midway, and coming to me. And then I asked him to go back and sit. Then he is going back and sitting there. Then I asked him, why you followed this route? Why didn't you just jump to another bench, to another person's shoulder, and then to another person's head, and then come to me? Then everybody is giving answer that how can I jump to another person's shoulder or another person's head? To come to you, I have to follow the route which is there in the classrooms. I said same is the case in your mind, because since your childhood, uh, there is a way that your root is in fact developing in terms of neural wires. So you cannot go away from your roots, your neural wires which are being developed since long time. You are practicing the same. Your mind has learned, so you cannot go away from that. You have to walk on that. So when you are walking on that, so that is why you are trying it with superficial all things, emotional uh, positivity. But again, you are coming back to the same root because that wire is there. So whenever the same situation will come, you will again start walking on the same wire. So that is why it is a. That's why I said it is programmed reactions. So when you are talking about repression and suppression, that will not work here. What will work here is your hemisync practice. You need to change those wires. And it's a pure hardware kind of technique. And once you are practicing it in your hemisync position and changing your uh, belief and changing your experiences, changing your thinking, and you are training you are developing new neural wires, and after and practicing it with your emotional intelligence, other techniques, then after some time, maybe after a month, uh, the neural glue will release in your mind and it will block the old wire. Unless this old wire is blocked, you will always face the same kind of problems. So this is a more like hardware problem because we are being programmed in such a way. I am teaching emotional intelligence on several platforms, but even then I am also getting hijacked, and then I am also saying that why I am getting, because I have learned that and it is being programmed in my mind. So you have to really practice very hard to change this particular programming through hemisync process, and then followed by this all kind of practices that I have suggested.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Sanjay, this is Tasneem. I have
Yeah,
one.
hello.
I I have one question. In fact, a request. Could you please provide an example of the emotional audit? Like if
Yes,
we are coming across a particular situation and there are a list of things like what am I feeling, what am I thinking, etc., etc. Can
yes.
you give an example for that, please?
Okay, okay. Emotional, actually, this emotional audit is, in fact, there are two ways. There is one place in your mind known as ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, VLPFC. It's a braking system. You know, when you get intense situation and you are stressed in that situation, and when you are not able to think right, then what is happening is you try to break that, you try to defend that, as somebody was mentioning, like suppression and repression. So you try to suppress that emotion at that particular moment, but for doing that, your VLPFC is very vulnerable, like a brake of a car. So if you use it 2, 3, 4 times for the same situation, okay, you can control at one time. For example, you are having a problem with your boss in the organization, and your boss is always behind you and always trying to give you problems, and every day he's doing that. So what is happening is, because you are in a situation and he's putting you always in trouble and always pinpointing that you are doing this thing down, this thing, that thing wrong, and actually with the help of VLPFC, you are trying to break. You said that, okay, no, 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 I do not have to say anything to him. I should keep myself calm, otherwise I may lose my job, and so on and so forth. So every day you are doing this. But one day when things will become extreme and your VLPFC after utilizing so many times, it will become vulnerable and then it will fail. When it fails, you will outburst. Then you will not think anything. Then you will say that go to hell, you, and I will show you what I am. And then you start saying everything, which actually wrong thing, because your thinking brain is not working at that time. So for that, you this emotional audit is given, so that you should not use your VLPFC. Do not repress that emotion. You have to misguide it. You have to guide it. So the blood flow which is going to your amygdala, you have to re-guide your blood flow and oxygen flow towards your thinking brain. That's what is important. So when you start doing this, what am I thinking and what is my objective? How do I do things in my own way? And you start giving answers, then actually you are keeping your VLPFC safe, and you are trying to calm down. And then you are getting the answer in that exercise, that how to interact with your boss and with the situation which is coming. So that's a very instant practice, and that you have to have a practice that. So it is just for redirecting your blood flow towards your Many are suggesting you count 10, but count 10 will not work. I think you have to work little bit more. So that's it. That is a situation, and that's why you are giving answers at that situation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, sir, I have this continuing to this question: is the boss really bad? Bosses are bad, or is it just our reaction to the bosses, our higher ego
Both.
of ourselves?
Both may happen, because once you will do the emotional audit, you will come to realize, and every the techniques which I have suggested, if you apply one technique and not others, definitely you will not get the answer and the results. And the series of activities are leading towards a situation. So if your boss is, you're not in good terms with your boss, definitely it's not just one event, it's a series of decisions or actions or interpersonal interactions which has happened in the past also. So everything works. If you want to rectify all these kinds of situation, you have to do all techniques every day. So diluting your ego is important, be a part of solution is important, imaging process is important, filling your mind with positive emotion is important, and at the same time emotional audit is important, that what am I feeling and what is my objective. So, and how can I do things in my own way. So if you give answer with your positive minds, then only your interaction will improve with your boss. Yes, the second part is, the boss may be the prisoner of his own programming, but even then, you will get something, because there are something which I have mentioned, that in vibrations, in the consciousness vibrations, that if you keep your vibrations positive, something positive is coming, and maybe your boss will be fired, maybe your boss will change. I don't know, but we do not have much science understanding for that, but these things are happening, and I think many have experienced when they have practiced this one. So I think you have to work as a whole and then try to understand things.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions that we may be having? We have the last 8 minutes. Please utilize it. So we've got, meanwhile, somebody's preparing themselves for asking the questions. So we've had some very good
Yeah.
feedback about the workshop. So I'll
Oh,
just
thank you.
acknowledge them.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sujit Pratap has said that it has been a wonderful talk. Many things can be learned from it. Pallavi, no, Nitin Yadav and Ankita Avasthi. Generally, one of the best workshops I've attended. I found it really insightful and interesting. Immediately applicable also. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the fact is that you're relating it in a very scientific way is
Yes.
something that you have in very simple terms. Uh,
Yes.
that has been really amazing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
right now I'm not at home. I'm in the midst, but still I'm having my headphones on because I did not want to miss any part of it.
Oh, thank
That's the
you.
reason.
Thank you.
So yes, anybody else? If no one else is interested in asking any more
So could
questions,
you give us
yes.
some tips for children, how we could handle children, or how we could have them, work on these categories of faith, love, gratitude, compassion?
Okay. Okay.
It's very
First
strong.
of all, good evening, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi. I know you are entering from Mumbai or from Mumbai. Thanks for joining this program. And I know that you are preparing a lot of programs for your children for raising their self-esteem and so on. In fact, we need to teach our children to learn meditation first. That is very important part. And also the hemisync, because if the children are small, we have to teach them, we have to have sessions for the meditation. And the hemisync, they are already in hemisync, and we have to tell them. The another important thing is, right now I do not have any full-fledged developed program so that we can fill their mind with positive emotions or tell them all the science what is happening, because they will not understand. But we need certain innovative programs so that they practice these kind of exercises. For example, as we have a Thanksgiving Day, so we can develop a program that, okay, everyone will come personally and will tell about what are the things happening, so that they are very happy and they feel thankful. This is one. For example, Compassion Day. For that, you ask them to help others. You ask them to feel their problems and solve their small problems. You have to create certain simulated situation so that they can learn to become compassionate for the others. And then another important exercise is faith, which we are developing a lot of program for developing faith on their own things. Self-esteem we are also developing. So in this way, we need to develop certain programs so that that particular category is in fact developed in their mind. This is one thing, and followed by the meditation part and other lifestyle things what we are teaching to them. Uh, and this one example I have given, we need to have more innovative programs to increase this kind of emotional vibrancy in their mind. No problem.
So thank you so much, sir. You have started off from the anatomy and the physiology of the brain to the quantum theory and its application in our day-to-day lives, and simplified it for us to be, utilizing it and implementing it in day-to-day life. That was a wonderful session. Thank you on behalf of all the participants and on behalf of Brain Behavior Research for taking our time out and giving these pearls of wisdom. And I thank all the participants for taking the initiative of joining this amazing workshop, and hope to see you soon with us again for many more such workshops on different topics. So have a nice weekend, be safe, and see you soon again.